No?
No, I don't hear it.
Okay, good.
Okay, we are live. See everyone, we've already started talking because me and Cheryl go way back, so it's like we can't stop and start the conversation right at 11 o'clock because I just adore Cheryl and of course
Oh,
looking at all of the great food that you've been posting on the timeline. But we are here to talk
mhm.
about the
Yes.
2022 Multicultural Media Luncheon. First, before we
Yes.
dive in, Cheryl, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a very busy time for me now. It's like crunch time, so it's pretty busy, but I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like, you may say that, but it seems like you may be busy, but you're always bringing on, you're always putting more on your plate, I'll say.
I think yes, insanity. It's called
You
insanity.
just
Yeah.
enjoy it. Hi,
Hmm.
Tisha. Good morning. Tuning in from Tampa Bay.
Okay. Hi,
All
Tisha.
right. Good
Oh
morning.
yeah. I know her.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. I know we just started
Yeah.
talking. My name is
Yeah.
Robin Kinney, president of Motor City Women Studios and Audio Engineers of Detroit. And ever so often, we do these conversations. We've been calling them from the studio, but as you can see, we are still doing everything remote. However, we're talking about the 2022 Multicultural Media Luncheon, which I've been going to for at least 10 years. At least.
Wow.
I remember going to the luncheon when I was, employed by someone else and being there with an organization and then being able to be a sponsor through my own organization is I'm just honored. I've seen the luncheon grow over the years, and I'm always so proud of Cheryl and her team because every year you guys bring
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do it without the
it.
vendors. I work with a lot of small businesses. I actually thought that my business model was a little quirky, but it was what I had to do. So when I first started the luncheon, I actually was kind of hanging out with some other business owners at a Panera Bread because we were trying to use Wi-Fi, and
You
and
gotta
we were
do what you can
talking
do.
about how uh, it's hard for a small business to really do business with large corporations. It's
Okay.
very, very, very hard, especially if you have less than 5 employees, that you less than 5 full-time employees. And so when I came up with the luncheon, I always made it a point to whatever services I had, I would pull in a small business that could handle, that fast pace,
Mhm.
being able to pivot really quickly and things like that. And so a lot of the vendors and companies that I work with, they've been with me since day one.
Yes.
We've lost one or two over the years, but overall, the small businesses that I work with, and I do pay them for their services. They use this to say, we, are doing, work for an event that's held during the auto show, and that really helps them to
Mhm.
get, more business from other companies. So I used to think it was kind of quirky. I think people made me feel that kind of way, because they were like, "Oh, you're small." But when you see our event, it doesn't look small.
Not at all.
That was the whole premise behind it, because I came from a background at BET and Vanguard and Vibe. I wanted to be able to bring that same level, but bring it, with us from a small business, and we've
Mhm.
been able to do that consistently for 11 years, which is
11 years. Yeah, I knew it was around that. And I'm here to say, I've gone to numerous of your events and I always
amazing.
feel special and I, feel like a star. And even with last year, in the midst of COVID, You guys were safe, you were responsible, there was a lot of communication, but we had a great time. But I'm sure it's not easy to balance those two.
Yeah, the COVID protocols really, you know, we had to, come I think about every touch point, and I mean literally touch point
Mm-hmm.
for people to, come and feel comfortable, as well as our celebrities to come to, an event that's interacting with the public and feel comfortable. So it did take us a little bit of time. I do have to give credit to like the younger members of my team, the AG Young Techs who, came up with a lot of stuff where it said, hey, let's use these QR codes. And
Yes.
then another one of them said, hey, we can't use business cards anymore. We got to do, this virtual door prize where we spin the wheel. And it kind of felt like the Price is Right to me. But people liked it. It was
It was a
fun.
lot of fun. I had a
Fun. People
great
were like, I
time.
see my name, and people liked it. But it was touch free. Having the box lunches last year.
Mm-hmm.
People. I'm sure they wanted something different, but we had to do that.
Right.
We had to do that so that people would feel comfortable. So now
Right.
this year we are going to a buffet style lunch where we'll have a buffet for people who have selected the vegan or vegetarian option, and then we have everyone else who selected just a regular entree. So it'll
Okay.
still be self-serve, but it'll be a hot lunch this time. So that's the change with the food. The seating will still be the same,
Okay.
10 people per table. We ask that you wear your mask when you come in. We have unless you're eating. So even though a lot of the COVID protocols have gotten a little lighter, um, we wanted Mr. Paul to feel comfortable and say,
Right.
when you're on the stage, everybody will have a mask on. We're
Mm-hmm.
still you know doing everything as if it is still like in the height of COVID, because we
Sure.
want people to be safe. We want the guests to feel safe. We have lots of students that are going to be there. So, we just have to, do it that way.
You mentioned Mr. Paul. Tell us about this year's keynote speaker.
Okay. Well, Rich Paul is what we call a super sports agent.
Yes.
He has a very unique story in that, he grew up with LeBron James as his friend, and kind of learned the sports industry um, kind of, done traditionally.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, he really was what we call a disruptor. He changed a lot of the protocols and things in the sports industry, and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
did it on their own terms, and they've been profitable with it. So he is going to talk about in his fireside chat. We're going to talk about how he has built a disruptive brand. And as
Mm-hmm.
you know, the outcome, or some of the, I wouldn't say side effects, but it's just something that kind of came from the pandemic, is that everything has to be touch free, you know,
Right.
or it's got to be convenient. Just like we have meals on demand, we've
Right.
got video on demand, we've got everything has kind of shifted, and a lot of companies have been very profitable during this pandemic, and those are the companies that have really disrupted the industry. And if you're not disrupting or staying on top of what is trending,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get left behind.
Mm-hmm. You know what I really love about the Multicultural Media Luncheon and you and your team is that over the years you've brought in such dynamic speakers to really talk about what's going on currently in our industry. So it's like you don't stay in a lane. Like there is no lane.
Right. I wondered if
I love
anybody was
that.
going to catch that.
There is no lane. It's like, last year, Jamil Hill, phenomenal. And then see Rich Paul this year, Lonnie Love. It's been so many different people. And it's like, even if you may not be in the media industry, you're going to get something from attending the Multicultural Media Luncheon. Every single year, I either make a new connection, I have fun, you get a dynamic speaker. So there's always so much to do and so much to listen to and, so much to look forward to.
Yeah, that's one of the main things that I wanted to create when I, kind of brainstormed of what I wanted it to look like. I didn't want it to be, even though automotive is the core of the whole event, I wanted it to be where it had multiple touch points. So if you were in the real estate industry, you could come, because Alex Rodriguez was, doing real estate. If you're an engineer, you could come. It always was like, we wanted to pick a speaker, number one, that was relevant, and that really had a good story to tell, for best business practices, life skills, or information for the youth that come. And then if you're just a regular fan, like, what we have with, Magic or Jamel, we had a lot of fans there. But when they came, they learned about people in the automotive industry that looked like them, that were doing these great things, and they had not heard of them. So, I've always tried to, think out of the box and create speakers, and bring in speakers that generate interest. And then, most importantly, because I am in the auto industry, generate car sales, or have people come away and share that information with someone who might be looking for a vehicle, because vehicle sales do keep Detroit going. It's a primary business, and so that's the ROI for us. And we can credit ourselves with about 22 vehicles. We do showcase, and that was something that I did not come up with. It was just one of the people who, we've been doing it, I think, for like 7 years. They just sent me their picture one year and said, I came to your luncheon and I was sitting at the table with, I think it was somebody at Ford or something. I don't know. And then they went and bought a car, and they sent me the picture. Can you show my picture next year? We were like, okay, sure. So then we started doing this, and it just like every year. And what we noticed was that there was one particular person who had bought a Ford F-150, a female from Atlanta, Mecca Wilson. And when we got the picture, everybody was like, wow, she's driving an F-150 because she's really short, But I said, you know what? F-150 is targeting women, and this is proof that women are buying this car. And she's not in construction. You know what I mean? She's a, business professional woman, but she loved big trucks. And so, it kind of helped with, seeing people what they're buying, and hoping that the car companies are paying attention to that, to see what people are actually buying. These are actual consumers. I don't pay them. You know what I mean? They just send their pictures in. So that's something that we like, to add value for our clients.
I really like, when you attend the luncheon, and I like when you guys show the different marketing campaigns and the commercials and things of that nature. I love seeing the people who've created these commercials and campaigns, and initiatives. I think it all ties together with the multicultural aspect of it, saying that, this didn't just create itself. There's a person who sat down and said, I want to reach, or I want to represent my culture, and how can I do this, through this campaign. So I love seeing like, okay, this is an actual person that creative and thought about, okay, what was the messaging? And I love that part. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the luncheon, is when you guys play the actual
That spots.
campaigns. Yeah, so you can see like, oh yeah, I've seen that on TV, and then you see the
Mhm.
person that
Mhm.
created it. I think it all ties together.
Yeah, I have to give a good credit or a lot of credit to the journalists that I hired. They're automotive journalists, bloggers from across the country, and their job is to keep a pulse on what is being shown on social media, on broadcast, what people
Mhm.
are talking about on social media, and they nominate the campaigns. I don't nominate them because
They nominate them.
I just wanted to take myself out of that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Sure.
And so I keep their identities anonymous because I want them to be comfortable in saying whether they like something or they don't like something. Um, and we have had some instances where there was like a TV commercial and it was supposed to target one community and it ended up connecting with a total different demographic. And this particular journalist was from that other demographic. And he said, in our community, we like this commercial, even though it's not for us,
Not for
but
us.
we like it. And so that's, we try to keep that, integrity of the
Mm-hmm.
event, the luncheon, the awards. We have Visionary Award for Design and Engineering, and that
Mm-hmm.
is everything from the tech that is in the vehicles. This year we've got some nominees that own automotive companies.
Wow.
We've got a nominee that has his own charging station, plugs in, which I had not heard of until a journalist told
Wow.
me about it. um, we have multicultural marketing, which are those marketing professionals that help steer the campaigns that you see, which is the Multicultural TV Commercial of the Year Award, the Digital Media Campaign of the Year Award, which is social media, and then the Lifetime Achievement Award. So those are the
Mm-hmm.
awards that we have every year, and the journalists and bloggers nominate those, and then we create a ballot and send it out to a group of judges, and they can't be in the auto industry, so they are business professionals, some consumers, and they vote. And then when we get to the event, we do it just like the Academy Awards. We have somebody read
Mm-hmm.
nominations and open the envelope, and you will be a presenter.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to being a presenter this year because I always have so much fun. And last year, your event was one of maybe three that I attended in person because I
Okay.
knew that it was going to be, if I thought I knew I was going to have fun, but I also knew that you and your team were going to make sure that everyone was safe. So I felt
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with coming. But yes, I'm honored to be a presenter this year and be part of the excitement. And one of the benefits I know we talked about earlier, the benefits of attending me as a business owner is the networking, but not only the networking, but just being in the room of greatness. It is an intimate room. It's like we're all cheering for each other. Your table has great conversation. I know my table always has great conversation, and it's just a lot of fun. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that people look at this and not think, oh, I have to be in automotive to attend. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been going for, like I said, at least no, at least
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, yeah, 10 years because I enjoy
Okay.
it, and
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl and her team, you guys always bring it. So I encourage entrepreneurs and small business owners, even if you haven't started a business yet, but you're thinking about starting a business, you want to be around greatness. You want to be around people who are creative, who are driven, and these are the type of people that come every year to the Multicultural Media Luncheon.
Mhm. And we have to, which I always have to, we have to thank the sponsors that really provide the funding to help keep this going. It's a very costly venture. So, having those sponsors that believe in this product, believe
Mm-hmm.
in the content that we provide, and are willing to funded and support a woman-owned business is very important. So I'm going to read this list, if I
Okay, read
may.
the list.
So we have for our sponsors for the 2022 Multicultural Media Luncheon, we have General Motors, Cadillac, Fifth Third Bank, Brand Marketing Agency Donor, Comerica Bank, North American International Detroit Auto Show, Black Girl Food Critic, and ELE Wealth Management. So those are our sponsors as of today.
Wonderful.
We still have a couple of companies that are looking to come in, and I'm excited about that because it's important. A lot of companies talk about really supporting minority-owned businesses, but the difference is made when you really write the check. That's
of
the
course.
difference. Yeah,
of course.
I just got to be real. You can say it all day, but if you haven't really financially funded a minority-owned business, then you're not helping them. You're just saying we're going to do something, and you're not really doing anything. Right. But these companies have supported my event. A lot of them have been with me multiple years, and we really, really appreciate the financial support that they provide. So I had to send a shout out to them.
Wonderful. And another part of the event that I almost forgot about, every year, you guys always highlight young people. Like there's always either a presenter, and I think last year a young person or a high school person introduced Miss Hill. Am I correct?
Yes, we have that every year. Yeah,
I knew it was something. It was always so that that energy and that like having them see that yes, you can create something. You can be part of a campaign. You can do this. There's all these different industries in this room. So, I think it's just a phenomenal event. We're a little less than 2 months out now.
I know.
He said, I know. I'm excited. September 22nd, again at the Garden Theater. And I think it's going to be so much fun.
I gotta jump in because we left out a piece. It is going to be live streamed as well.
Oh, wonderful.
So if you don't feel comfortable coming in person, or if you're out of state and don't want to travel, we do have live stream passes. They're only $35, and that's to cover our costs for the production of that platform. Being able to have somebody to run it and all that kind of stuff. But we will be live streaming as well, and you can get your tickets at ajamugroup.com, AJAMUGROUP.com, and it's my last name group.com. Easy.
Ajamugroup.com. Again, it's September 22nd at the Garden Theater. If you don't feel comfortable coming in person, purchase one of the live stream tickets. Like I said, it's always fun. Even during the pandemic, it was responsible. I didn't mind the box lunch. I didn't mind it at all because I was just having so much fun. Jamil was fun seeing the campaigns, taking the pictures. It's just like the energy and the vibe of the room. It's just always a lot of fun. And that's, like I said, one of the few events that I've gone to consistently, over the last 10 years. Yeah. So hats off to you and the entire Ajamu Group team.
Thank you.
For always keeping the vibe high. And, it's a lot of fun. It's always educational, and I always leave inspired. So what are some of the things that people can expect this year? Yeah.
Well, we always have, as I mentioned, the business card drawing for the door prizes. So we always try to have some unique door prizes. We've got some spa packages from Christina's European Spa in Birmingham, Michigan.
Nice.
They have been a door prize sponsor for, I would say, at least 7 years.
Wow.
I think we'll have Capers this year, Capers Steakhouse, which is Janina Jacobs. People love going there because she's got those delicious steaks. I tried them. They're good. And let's see what is. Oh, and then we have a social media post door prize. Okay. So that is where we encourage people to post that are in person about what's happening at the event. Mm-hmm. And then someone from our social media team selects the winning post, and they win $100 gift card from Ocean Prime Steakhouse in Troy. Wonderful. And they have been a partner with the Ajamu Group for, wow, I would say 9 years.
Oh, really?
They've been a partner for a long, long time. And then we'll be announcing it soon, but we do have a door prize from the Detroit Lions, so we'll be posting. So we do have something from the Detroit Lions. They're new. They have been. They've attended. I think they attended my event when Alex Rodriguez came. They did have some representatives there. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to make a donation as far as a door prize. So we'll be announcing what that is probably sometime next month.
Okay.
And then we will be also, as a door prize, we will be giving out a Black Girl Food Critic gift card.
Ooh.
Our new branding.
I was just going to say, speaking of steaks, let's talk about the new brand of the Ajamu Group, Black Girl Food Critic. You know, yes. If you follow Ajamu Group or Cheryl personally, you've seen those delicious platters of food on your timeline. So tell us more about that brand. How did it get started, and you know what we can look forward to from it?
Okay, so it was kind of a pandemic baby. So I've always, for years since I've lived here, and I've lived here 25 years in Michigan, I would always try to support Black-owned restaurants, like Waves Inn on Grand River. I think I've been going there ever since I got to Michigan. Because that fish is so good.
You know, I grew up in Northwest Detroit, but I haven't seen them open lately. And I'm like,
they're not?
I haven't seen them. Maybe I'm just not going by at the right time.
I think it's just on the weekends now.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it's just Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
It used to be, I think it used to be Thursday, and then pandemic. But
I understand.
Yeah. So I've always, supported Black-owned restaurants. I guess it's just, how I was raised, with grandparents that were NAACP coming up in Operation Push, as a teenager. We were always taught to support businesses in your community. I've always, done that. And so when the pandemic struck, and I was on a lot of Zooms with a lot of organizations where they were trying to help small Black-owned businesses get ready to apply for PPP loans. I saw that frustration of, trying to get, information in order, or, having the right P&L statements, or, just things like that. And they were saying, we need people to buy food. We need people to buy,
right.
Yeah, they were like, this is great, but we need people to buy. And so I was at a art show with my friend Cheryl Heading Alexander. I was just helping her at her booth because I'm always helping somebody. And I told her, I saw Frida Batitas. We were right across the street from her. I had never been there. And they said it's Black-owned. It's like Cuban steaks or something. It's Cuban sandwiches. So I went over there. I got one. And I had Cheryl's husband take my picture. And I said, I'm getting ready to start this food blog. It's called Black Girl Food Critic. And they were like, what is that? And I was like, I'm going to start rating this food. I'm going to start promoting this food that I'm eating every week. And so it's kind of like a play on words. I don't like to say that I'm like being very critical. The whole point of it is to promote businesses that have really good food, and they may not have the budget to do
Right.
an ad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's very costly. You know, even if $1,500 to a small Black-owned business is 100,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every dollar counts.
Right.
And so I started just going around once a week, and I would visit different places. I wouldn't say anything. I would just come in, buy the food, take pictures, eat it, and then I would post it. And it just, slowly started to gain momentum, and then I started becoming a little more recognizable because I was trying to be kind of low key.
Right.
And they were like, there she is. I was like, where?
Where? I want to meet her too.
Yeah, who is she? So, but yeah, I started it because of that. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year since I started that. And since then, we've expanded. I also do Black Girl Food Critic in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee.
Wonderful.
Because my community friends was like, why are you doing it up there? You can come down here.
Right.
We got good food too. So I said, okay. So eventually we want to expand to, Chicago. Just go everywhere.
Wonderful. But Cheryl, you saw a need and said, okay, what can I do? You know what? I can go take a picture of me with their delicious food so people can see, oh, I didn't know that they sold this, or I didn't know that, that was, locally owned or Black owned.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great. I think it speaks to everyone, the nature of saying, okay, I may not be able to do everything. I may not be able to solve all of the problems, but I can do something.
Yeah. All of us can do something because we all have to eat. And so, it doesn't have to be the most expensive. I cover all price points.
You do.
I go everywhere. I mean, I'll go deep in the hood to the fine dining. I go everywhere, and a lot of people,
all type of cuisines. Yeah. I saw you were at Magnolia's, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks good." And that's really how I determine, okay, well, what's a place I would like to try? Like I always go to your page because I know you've already been there, and I can just see, oh, okay, well, this has some good chicken and waffles, or this has some good fish. Or whatever. So I encourage everyone to check out Black Girl Food Critic.
Yes, we're on Instagram, Black Girl Food Critic, all one word. And I usually post every week. But we primarily have been focusing like in the city of Detroit. We're starting to venture out a little bit more. We've gone to Sterling Heights, and then this past week we traveled 3 hours to Grand Rapids to 40 Acres.
Oh, so how was that?
The food was good and the decor was beautiful. And I just kind of was on my laptop and it came across and I said, wow. And it's on Wealthy Street, which was,
I heard that. 40 acres on Wealthy Street.
It was just great. There is a Wealthy Street up there. So many great places. So many great places. For Black History Month, I came up with this idea where we would feature Black-owned restaurants that have been in business 30 years or more. And that was, an interesting assignment because I had to do a little bit of research. I think everybody knows Baker's Keyboard Lounge.
Right.
It's probably one of the oldest, restaurants in the U.S. But, we featured Vicky's Barbecue, which I had not heard of, but I
really? I remember going to Vicky's. This probably like 20 years ago.
Really?
And I was like, oh my gosh, look at all this food. This is too much. And it was so good.
Very tender.
Very tender.
Good.
Very tender. And then extraordinary.
And then Floods, which is the mixing and hookup restaurant. They got good food.
Is that what we're calling it?
If you want to network, you want to hook up, you want to meet somebody,
get you a table at Floods.
Just sit there
to the bar. That's true. That is so true, actually. Floods has been around for a long time. But what I love about that is that, I think a lot of new restaurants get the shine and they get the attention, but it's the restaurants that have been in business for 30 plus years, serving our community and in our community, that we need to show some love to as well.
Yeah, yeah, and there are lots of them. There are so many of them.
Now, where can we find that? Do we just have to go to your page, or is there a list that you guys have put together?
We're working on like a comprehensive list. I don't want to give all my secrets.
Okay, all right.
All right. We're working on a list.
I'm asking too much.
Yeah, we're working on a list. There's a couple things we're working on. We completed a pilot for a TV show.
Really?
And we're trying to get someone to pick us up. Netflix, call us.
Call me, Netflix.
Somebody, Hulu, call us.
I love that idea.
So yeah, we want to do that. It's a lot of challenges with, trying to do a TV production.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a long-term goal, and I'm always a big believer in, you got to really, make your goals where they seem unrealistic, and then you really work hard to make it come true. So,
that's right.
If you would have told me 20 years ago I would be having an event during the auto show, when I used to just go, and just go to the Cherry Preview, I was an employee. I didn't, I would have laughed like, I'm not going to have, but here I am.
Look at you
11
now.
years later. Yeah. With just an idea that I said, hey, I think it's something that, can be done. And it's been sustainable. So.
Yes. And all great things start with an idea. That's all you need is an idea. That's the start. But again, September 22nd at the Garden Theater. For tickets, visit ajamugroup.com. Ajamugroup.com. AJAMU group.com. Also follow on Instagram and Facebook for Black Girl Food Critic.
Girl Food Critic.
Yes. You must follow. So I follow both pages, because if I miss something on one timeline, I'll see it on another timeline. So Cheryl, thank you again for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this very much.
It is my pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you in person in a couple of months.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.